Hey there, welcome to Magic Monday. I'm
Hello,
Davy
and I'm Tracy.
from DavyandTracy.com. And yeah, welcome to Magic Monday.
Bright.
Magic
Like it's
Monday.
a little bit
Yeah,
bright.
I know it is a little bright this morning. Magic Monday is our weekly live stream. Let me mute this so I don't hear an echo. Whoops, it was muted. All right, so Magic Monday is a weekly live stream where we talk about nature magic and working with herbs and crystals and nature and plant themed tarot decks and oracle cards and the moon phases for mental, emotional, and spiritual healing and well being. So welcome to we do this every single week Monday at 10 o'clock. I can't really talk today. Um, So yeah, feel this is supposed to be interactive, so feel free to comment, get on the live chat thing. We want to hear back. We want to hear from you guys. I should just let Tracy do this.
The live chat thing.
The live chat thingy there. Yeah, and so we share some prompts like with gratitude and things, and we'll get to that. So
And even if you're not watching this live, feel free
yes,
to
comment.
the gratitude section to post your gratitude. We do read them, and just sharing your gratitude just really helps shift your day into more of a positive uh, energy.
All
Do
right.
we have any announcements? Do we?
We don't, not really. We will have some announcements coming up, but we've been saying that every week, so
Eventually, it's gonna happen.
yeah,
It's in the process. Did you shuffle these cards?
I did.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna start. It's a windy day today. We're gonna start with lighting our September candle, which represents
Wisdom.
wisdom.
Maybe. I should have got the one that bent. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Wait.
And we're gonna take 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth.
All right, let's do gratitude. I am grateful for working towards taking my Reiki to the next level and creating a group distance Reiki group that's coming. I'm going to work out the kinks. I'm going to be getting some test people to help work out how the mechanics of that's going to work and eventually try and launch that in October. And I'm very excited because I'm trying to figure out a way to become a Reiki practitioner it was a year ago because I remember reading my 1 year anniversary. So I don't remember exactly when I started it. I probably should have written that date down. But I've been over a year. I've been a Reiki practitioner, and I'm trying to figure out how to then take it to the next level without actually getting like my own clinic. Because I don't really want to like have a practice in my own clinic. So I just want to take it. So this is something that I've worked on, I've thought about, and hoping to work through the mechanics of that and launch the group in October. What are you grateful for?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm grateful I cleaned the whole house.
It looks awesome.
Every room in the entire house, my son's room, our room, every room yesterday. Took the whole day and cleaned it.
I'm grateful for the abundant garden that I've had. We have, you can't see it, but like there are herbs drying everywhere around us. And so I've been doing a lot of herb crafting and picked up some supplies to make some herbal infused oils, and I'm going to be making some smudge sticks with crystals incorporated into them. We've been making candles. We made lavender candles with some of the lavender from our garden. So this is a time of year where there's a lot of herb crafting going on. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to do that, and the abundant garden, and a lot of the awesome, useful plants that grow around us just naturally. And I'm grateful for cooler days. I know that, kicks off the start of winter's on its way, but first we have fall, which is a really nice season, one of my favorite times of the year, so I'm grateful for that.
I do like fall. I like fall. I'm looking forward to fall this year only because summer was so hot. So like things like kayaking, our son doesn't do well in outdoors in the heat. And so things like kayaking, I wasn't able to do as much, and he really likes kayaking. So I'm looking forward to do some like cooler weather kayaking and some hiking.
Yeah.
So post what you're grateful for. We
Yeah.
love reading your comments about what you're grateful for. If you're watching it live, always go ahead and post. If you're watching the recording, still go ahead and post. We love hearing what you guys are grateful for. It just shifts your energy into more of a positive energy. Even if you're grateful, the day's over. Whatever it is.
All right.
Lunar forecast.
Lunar forecast. So this week on Thursday, the new moon will be in the sign of Virgo. And so that's going to kick off the next moon phase. Virgo is associated with service, well-being, and self-care. And the new moon is a time to set intentions and start a new project, commit to a change, a new habit, new behavior, things like that. So in preparation of that, we're in that waning crescent moon right now. Today through Wednesday, we're going to be in a waning crescent moon, and that is a time of self-care, recuperation, and recharging. So basically, be gentle with yourself over the next 3 days because you're going to have a lot of work ahead of you coming into this moon cycle. So, take some time. Don't overload yourself. The beginning of this week, just make sure you carve out, even if it's 5-10 minutes for some self-care. Just keep your energy levels moderated as best you can as we go from that waning crescent moon from Leo into Virgo. But then on the new moon in Virgo on Thursday, it's time to really start setting an intention. And you don't create a list of 100 wishes that you want to come true,
right.
Or a list. Create a to-do list with 100 items on it, but pick one thing. And like I said, what I like to do is I like to set intentions around what the sign the moon is in. So like, for example, Virgo, like I said, is associated with service, well-being, and self-care. So a new moon in Virgo is a great time to set intentions about your own well-being, whether that's physical well-being or mental or emotional well-being. It's a good time to commit to practice like what Tracy and I have, connecting with nature. And if you want some ideas on how to do that, this Magic Monday is a good example of what we do every day. You could also, back in April, we did our Magic Morning, which has more elements than what we do in this Magic Monday, and so you can watch those videos on our website as well.
We use more of like the element of the day.
Right. If your intention is more physical self-care or physical wellness, we do have a green smoothie cleanse on our site, 5-day green or 10-day green smoothie cleanse called Blend that Tracy created a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But if you followed us for any length of time, we started as a health and green smoothie blog. So we have a lot of content on our site about that too.
And green smoothies are definitely good for physical as well as mental well-being.
Right. So over the next couple days, figure out what your intention is going to be for that new moon in Virgo, and then set an intention, and a clear intention. Don't just say, "Oh, I want to lose weight," or "Oh, I want to, feel happier." Try to be specific on what that intention is going to be. You could even do instead of "Oh, I want to feel happier," "I want to have more energy," you can just be like, "Well, what would you do if you felt happier, if you had more energy?" Because a lot of times you can't wait for the energy or that feeling of happiness to come in. You got to start doing what's important to you and what's valuable to you, and then that happiness, that energy will come up, will rise up within you. So yeah, set some intentions on that. As we go into the weekend, we're now on that waxing crescent moon in Libra, and it's going to shift into Scorpio. So the waxing crescent is that kind of manifestation, hustle, that hope and motivation phase of the moon. And that's the time to start getting to work on manifesting your intention that you set on the new moon. Libra is associated with balance, compromise, and harmony, and so that's how you're really going to get started with this new moon intention. Is you're going to immediately have to figure out how to balance your life and figure out how to juggle everything that you have going on, so that you can commit to your goal that you set for the new moon. And then as we get into the weekend, it's going to shift into Scorpio, which is interestingly enough associated with with healing and rebirth. So it's a good phase to boost your the work that you're doing for the new moon in Virgo.
Awesome. All right, let's do our animal wisdom. So we're using the same deck that we usually use, the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. Jody Bergsma.
Yeah.
Bergsma. Davy already shuffled these. So Lizard Regeneration.
Ooh, that's a good new moon card.
Yeah, as a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak, and you are a master of regeneration.
Yeah, so the new moon is kind of, a lot of people talk about the new moon as a time to set a new goal, a new intention, but it's also time to recommit to something, to kind of rebuild, heal, kind of like the example, the lizard losing its tail and growing it back. It's a time to actively work on something you feel is lost. Not always just bringing something new into your life, but bringing something back into your life.
Right.
That
So
you
it
want.
could be like a restarting,
Right.
reconnecting to your goals.
Recommitting to a goal you might have fallen off on, or that has been on the back burner for a long time, or reclaiming something that you want to do. Maybe you had some success with something in the past and you want that again.
Just reconnecting to it. Yeah.
Right.
And you have the other deck.
Yeah, so for the Play of Wisdom card, I'm going to pull from the Flowers of the Night Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy.
And these links to all the decks are below.
Yeah, and I like the Flowers of the Night Oracle for the new moon because the new moon is also called the dark moon. It's when the night is the darkest, and so I figured this deck would be a good one to start with. I love the backs of these decks.
Yeah, that was just looking at those.
Back of the deck too.
I do like
This is actually my first Oracle deck. When I got into tarot, this deck kind of like called to me in a bookstore, and then Tracy and I started working with it every day several years ago. So the card is Acceptance, and the flower shown is Evening Primrose.
Type the acceptance into. Also, I mean, this could be an acceptance of like when you're regenerating, accepting of reality. I mean, it could be you could have a lot of setbacks, and sometimes when we have setbacks, we let them set us back instead of being like, okay, this is what I have to. This is what it is, and then I have to move forward.
Yeah.
So it could be just accepting the reality of maybe you have to do things differently, and instead of trying to make it the same way. Maybe you have to make a change.
I'm just looking at
keywords.
Keywords in her book here. So she has an affirmation. It says, I am emotionally courageous and strong. Keywords are acceptance, emotional support, commitment, rejection.
Right,
so
I interpret that as kind of like accepting where you are.
Accepting where you are.
Good or bad, and then being able to adjust based on how you need to move forward.
Right, and I think the important thing is focusing on acceptance and not judgment.
Right.
Because those are two very different things. Both acknowledge where you are and where you're starting from, but judgment is a very negative place to be. Like, oh, why am I here? Why can't I do this? Why am I, 100 pounds overweight? Why am I, dragging myself out of bed and have no energy to do anything? That's judgment. Acceptance is, I'm a person who experiences feelings of depression or anxiety, or I am a person who, I am a person who doesn't have the best eating habits.
Right.
Or I experience difficulty in, maintaining my health, which is different than saying I'm unhealthy, or, so I think the lesson here with acceptance is to be mindful about the language you use to describe yourself and your situation, because are you describing yourself and your situation from a place of acceptance or a place of judgment? And I think it's important to differentiate those two and be mindful of your self-talk. and to steer more toward acceptance. And acceptance doesn't mean that you need to throw in the towel and be like, well, life's the way it is, there's nothing I can do about it. No, acceptance is not the same as giving up. So
Right.
acceptance is just that non-judgmental look at where you are and easing up on the resistance to what is going on so that you're not suffering. And then from acceptance you can move to a place of power where you can change and manifest and prepare for the new moon. So I think acceptance is a good card, a good concept to work with over the next couple days while you are preparing for that new moon in Virgo on Thursday. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I already touched
Okay.
base
Let's move on to the tarot
on
card.
it. Go back to the deck that we always use.
Yeah, I just like it. I'm a stick
I
with
should
like
grab my deck
I
out
like
again.
the classic
I know.
Rider Waite Smith imagery. I mean, as much as I love the Greenwich Tarot that I did, I feel like that's a special occasion deck. I would like to do like the Wild Unknown and the Herb Crafters Tarot that I have too, and maybe I'll start pulling some Herb Crafter Tarot for the Plant Wisdom as well, because I like to showcase some of the other decks that I have. So we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is a card that kind of embodies extremes in energies or like polar opposites in energies. So on one hand, for example, what I mean by that is the example is the Knight of Wands might be someone who wants to have it all but not willing to put in the work to get it. They might be someone who is makes a lot of promises and has a lot of optimism and makes a lot of promises but doesn't follow through on them. They kind of like have ambitions but they don't put in the work. So the Knight of Wands is really that kind of like the embodiment of that kind of opposite energy that can cause you to be stuck or self-sabotage. And so the wisdom of the Knight of Wands this week would be to really check in with those two sides of you, because we all have that. We all have that, drive, the intention that we set, the desire to, achieve goals or make changes in our life. But we also have that part of ourselves that wants to do the opposite, that wants to, that is afraid of getting out of her comfort zone, that is reluctant to expend the energy, or it's easy, we want to take the easy path, which is, a lot of times not the way to
Forward.
get what you want. And what happens is months or years down the road, you still don't have this goal, but you probably are caught up on a lot of your TV shows.
Right.
So, so the Nine of Wands is really calling us today to just, be mindful of those polar opposite energies that we all have and how that is going to play over the next month going into this moon phase. And since the first sign that we're going to be in after the new moon in Virgo, we're going to be in that waxing crescent in Libra. Libra is about balance, harmony, and compromise. So that's a good time to really kind of journal and reflect on how you can balance going after, like, making a change in your life so that it's not so overwhelming that you're kind of pushing that part of yourself that is resisting getting out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. And the part of that is making small steps. We talked about that earlier. Is just making small changes instead of like making a list of 100 things that you want to change. Is just making, setting that intention on the small steps.
A lot of work that Tracy and I do is around balancing your energy. This is one of the things where, like, the candles, the crystals, the herbs, the cards, all this stuff is not just an aesthetic. It's something that we actively work on to balance our energy. There's almost like you see, like at the beginning of our Magic Mondays, I'm like waving a little sage leaf that's burning here, and that's not just a ceremony that we just do because it's something to do, but the aroma of sage or cedar, or it could be an essential oil, it has a calming effect
yeah.
on your emotion, and it's really almost magical the way that just the simple act of lighting a sage leaf or inhaling and smelling a bottle of tea tree essential oil. That's my like cleansing.
And even just like our altar here, it's like
Right.
it just when I look
The
at it,
flame,
it
the
just it's
candle,
very
the
calming.
crystals. It's aesthetic. Right. It's beautiful, and it just kind of creates that tone that just kind of calms your energy and makes you more focused and mindful.
Right.
So that's a good way to kind of balance
your energy.
Right. A couple crystals that you can work with this week. Black moonstone is a good. Could you get my black moonstone sphere? I want to show that. It's my latest crystal acquisition. So one of my favorite crystals to work with on new moons is black moonstone. I had this little tiny piece for the longest time, and then I splurged and got myself a black moonstone sphere.
Yeah, we searched for one of the
Here,
light
can you
moonstone.
show that in the?
We searched for the other, but we just could not find one the same size.
So what I wanted is like a black moonstone.
I'm trying to get this so it doesn't.
A black moonstone sphere, and then I'm working on getting a rainbow moonstone sphere. So the black moonstone sphere represents the new moon, and the rainbow moonstone, which is white with some black in it, would represent the full moon. So I'd set those out on my altar at appropriate times. But black moonstone is a good stone to work with on the new moon because it represents that new moon energy. It's basically represents that setting intentions and that the work of manifestation and recommitting or committing to goals. So I like carrying a piece of black moonstone or putting moonstone out on the new moon. Some other new moon crystals to work with would be any kind of depending on what you want to manifest in your life. If it's like something with your relationship or loves or even self-love, rose quartz. Anything with
I love rose quartz.
Yeah, anything with like creativity, orange calcite's a good one. Communication would be blue lace agate or blue calcite. Money, finances, that would be citrine and pyrite, green aventurine. A good overall Virgo crystal, though, to work with would be green kyanite, green aventurine, green calcite, which we have right here. Any kind of crystal that, Heliodor I like as well. It's this kind of light green stone I have. Generally, green stones are a good Virgo stone to work with. Anything, Virgo's an earth sign, anything that kind of represents that. Earth, jasper, red jasper is also good. So those are some of the stones that you can work with, carry them with you, wear them, meditate with them, and just reflect on their properties and hold them and use them when you set your intentions this week. And you can also do that with black moonstone or clear quartz, anything that you have that really resonates with you.
Yeah, I like, I think we kind of work with crystals differently, don't necessarily hold them. I'm trying to get better at working. Davy does a lot more with crystals than I do, and I'm trying to get more into the working with crystals. I have a bunch of, a couple large pieces of rose quartz on my desk that I tend to look at, and then I have a beautiful Reiki tree with crystals, the different Reiki crystals on it, and just when I look at it, I tend to not necessarily hold them as much as just I look at them and reflect at them, and it helps remind me, seeing these pieces reminds me just to take a deep breath and kind of slow my mind down a little bit and just take a couple moments of peace and quiet. So
right. Yeah, and the crystal itself isn't going to do anything. It's not going to, pull in what you want in your life, but it's really, like I said, it's something that engages your senses and your tactile senses and your visual sense to help you focus your intention and,
it's like a
balance and
cue,
moderate
basically.
your energy, right? And something as simple as putting a citrine or a pyrite piece on your desk or where you know do your finances could just serve as a reminder to focus on your long-term financial goals and your short-term financial goals.
We have a money tree in our living room that we have a little dish that when we find coins on the ground, we pick up and we say thank you to the universe, and then we come home and we kind of giving it to
We
put it in a little dish,
yeah.
and we just kind of say it's sort of like a gratitude for abundance. And even if it's a penny, it's like it's a gratitude for abundance. And then we're kind of watching the tree grow, and then the coins in the we're getting more and more coins in the dish. So it's like it's just kind of a visualization of growth and abundance. So
Yeah.
all right, I think we are ready to do our ending meditation.
Yep.
For all of today, I will love. For all of today, I will trust. For all of today, I will be true to myself. For all of today, I will give thanks for my many blessings. For all of today, I will be kind to my neighbor and every living thing. So take 3 deep breaths. Joining our newsletter. I always forget that.
Oh yeah. So don't forget to join if you haven't already. Don't forget to join our email newsletter. We send it out every Wednesday usually, and it basically expands on what we talk about here. So this excuse me, this Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to be going into more detail about the new moon in Virgo.
We offer like some rituals and stuff that we do, and
Right.
we talk about it just kind of gives it a little bit more ritualistic to what we're doing here.
And I also offer tarot readings. I do tarot readings and I incorporate plant and animal oracle cards and the moon phases into that as well to give a really comprehensive reading that not only brings the wisdom of the tarot into the reading, but also the current natural cycles and rhythms of nature and the moon phase and what's going on in nature into the reading as well. So if you can book that at davyandtracy.com/tarot and our newsletter, we'll put a link in the video. It'll be in
The description.
the description of this video. Yeah, I think so. But I'll post in the comments too. And that's davyandtracy.com/naturemagic and magic with a K. And yeah, so that's it for this week.
Okay.
And thanks so much for joining us. If you're watching this, if you're watching the recording, please like, subscribe, comment, post what you're grateful for, and we will see you next week, next Monday at 10 o'clock Eastern. Have a great week, guys.
Bye.